Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome to another online battle for Third Age Reforged. Today we are a custom city Cair Andros in a 4v4 battle with over 22,000 soldiers on the battlefield, and this will be somewhat lag free in this battle. There may be a little bit here and there, but the replay is normally completely fine, which is absolutely awesome to see as we just swoop across this battlefield. So as I said, this was a 4v4 battle. I'll make sure to link Third Age Reforged and the Discord they use in the description down below so you guys can go check it out for yourself. I will also put a skip to battle button in the description so you guys can jump into the beginning of the battle if you don't really care about looking at the map or looking at the army comps, which we are going to do now. So we'll start off by looking at the first kind of engagement, because this battle will be in stages really. The first stage being the bridge battles. You can see there's a bridge on either side of the city, and then there's also two river crossings. You can get across through this way where I'm moving my mouse cursor, and the same on the other side right here. So these will be the first kind of major engagement points. Then we'll have, as we get pushed back, if we get pushed back, spoiler, we do get pushed back, we will then defend over the streets, which will be really cool. So you'll see an amazing engagement happening right here in the midst of battle with an epic looking dwarf last stand, which I should say, sorry, I forgot to mention, we have Harad, we have Gundabad, we have Harad, we have the Orcs of the Misty Mountain, and we have the dwarfs alongside Dal Amroth defending, and then attacking we have Gondor, we have Rune, we have Gundabad finally on the attacking side, and we also have our Nor. So they're the attackers. But yeah, then we'll have a battle inside the actual streets, and then we'll get pushed back to this final layer of the keep and defend out the outer walls alongside the keep wall. And the really cool thing about this fortress is just the way that the map creators have made it so you can fight in between all the little streets and everything. It'll make for a really exciting battle considering there are so many soldiers on the field. As well as that, you also have these bridges, which is something I'll skip over in this battle. It's just mainly because nothing much really happened, but you could deploy a couple units on these boats back here, which was kind of a cool feature. So let's look at the army comps really quickly. So on my side, you can see as the dwarfs on the defending side, we have some Ironfoot halberds holding up the front line, and oh my god, these Ironfoot halberds go in the battle, you guys will see. We also have some Ironfoot crossbows, along with some Ironfoot warriors, a catapult back there, and I believe I have some Mithril guard and some Erebor guard back in my back lines. That's pretty much my army. Apollo, who is playing as the heavy goblin archers, or as the Orcs of a Misty Mountain, has some heavy goblin archers, along with some more heavy infantry, which are currently stationed a little bit further back, so we'll see more of his army in a second. Dal Amroth have these really cool looking men-at-arms, along with a trebuchet. Harad are supporting with some Muhad tribesmen, some really good skirmish infantry, which are going to be inflicting plenty of damage. And also, I might miss a bunch of units here. I'm just roughly going over the army comps, just because I want to get into the battle as soon as we can. So we have some Dal Amroth of these halberds right here. These guys look sick, look at them. If anything comes their way, I feel sorry for it. Then behind them, we have some more heavy archers from Apollo. We also have some more heavy men-at-arms. I think the majority of our elite units are currently situated back here. You can see we have some heavy goblin archers, or some heavy goblin infantry, some more goblin infantry, some trollmen of Harad. These dudes are pretty deadly when it comes to heavy combat, along with some serpent bodyguard. And then in our final layer over here, we have the elite, dismounted serpent guard. We have the Black Legion right here. These guys look amazing. 2 skulls on either side. Hopefully we'll be adding plenty more skulls to their armor after this battle. Some Hammerers of Gundabad, some Dal Amroth Swan Knights dismounted, very deadly. We also have these heavy guard. These guys look sick. They look like something from Skyrim. They look very cool, and obviously some more Ironfoot crossbows back here as well. So it's pretty much our defensive force. We still have some more elite units here and there, but you guys will see them in the battle anyway, so I don't have to go over every single unit. So let's look at the attackers. We have some clansmen up front getting ready to push up that siege tower. We have some more catapults back here. The majority of the Rune army is here though, with these runic swift blades, some pretty quick heavy infantry, and these more heavier, like a heavier variant of them with these Flag Arin heavy infantry. They're going to be supported by Gondor, who currently have some veterans of Osiliath out front, along with some more Gondorian Citadel archers. That's really good because these guys can shoot their arrows, pull out their sword and shield, and then get stuck in afterwards. We also have some of the noble axemen and some clan crossbowmen helping the other flanks with some more just basic Gondor infantry, which I call basic. They're actually really good. And I think finally Gondor have some of these guards of Osiliath as well. Oh yeah, we also have some of these chosen. This is the general unit, some heavy infantry for Rune, and Gondor have these Gondorian winged swordsmen, which again look so goddamn cool. They really do. And these are just the final units over here. Wardens of the White Tower. And if you guys saw my last battle with on this mod, you saw how deadly they are. And if we quickly look at the other side for the forces of Gundabad, we can see that we have some orc fellas, pretty basic units being pushed up at the moment. But the more elite units is the Witch Realm pikemen, along with the guardians back here, or some more Witch Realm Scourge raiders back there. We also have some witches along with a battering ram, some more wargs. But the elite units, we have the Arnor heavy archers, the cave trolls, the battle ready Dunedain, along with the Guardians of Cardoom, I believe they're called. They're really good. And then finally, for the elite forces of Arnor, we have the dismounted Dunedain Knights, and the Dunedain Pikemen are also really good. So there we go. That is the army comps. I'm sure I missed a unit or two, but hopefully you guys don't mind too much. What we will do now is we'll skip to the beginning of the battle when all the armies are in place, and I'll make sure to skip out as many of the kind of boring parts of this battle as possible. Do let me know in the comments down below though. Give me some feedback. Would you guys want me to do this in the future, or would you prefer me just having the entire battle raw? Because I'm still, kind of new to these Third Age really long battles, so do just let me know. Would you rather I cut them down into the important parts whilst keeping the majority of the enjoyment of the battle, or would you prefer me just to have the entire raw, hour and a half long battle? Do let me know. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the battle. Okay guys, we are back and the battle is now underway as the forces of Rune do try and make the initial breach into our defences. However, Darenroth are going to be holding firm there for quite some time, so we're feeling pretty confident that these halberdiers will be able to push back the weaker light infantry of the Clan's Guard. We're not expecting too much from them, but it's just really the sheer amount of numbers they'll be sending at us. Them having a 10,000 gold bonus is going to help out quite a lot, as well as that the orcs from Gundabad are now making their way in, but my dwarfs of the Iron Hills, the sturdy dwarfs, again with their halberdiers, will be able to make short work of these fellas, along with all the missile support coming our way as well. I believe Apollo has his archers over here, and I'm also sending in some of my Ironfoot warriors into the flank to try and turn the tide and clean this battle up quickly, because the main engagement right now is happening over here. Gundabad and the forces of Arnor are seizing this opportunity to try and use a river crossing, because the bridge is quite close together. So they want to try and use this bridge as best they can to move troops across. And again, Medieval 2 never does ceases to amaze me, because just look at it. We've got 22,000 soldiers on the field right now. Everyone's moving and it's running perfectly fine. No lag whatsoever. It's really impressive, really, how, and obviously the graphics, the demanding of the graphics and stuff isn't really very demanding on my system, but even still, in Attila and Warhammer and stuff like that, you barely really even, it's not the game working my computer, it's the engine just not being able to handle it and lagging. So it's just so impressive to see a game like this old, 10 years old, and still fighting on very strong. A few of these snag archers have made their way through the ranks, but my crossbowmen are more than capable of killing them in melee combat. They're going to be pulling out their axes, putting down their crossbows for a second, cleaning these guys out, and then they'll be reforming and getting some really nice shots into the side of these savages very quickly. It is quite hard to tell who's who, because obviously we have orcs on our side from Apollo's, Gundabad, and we're also fighting against we're fighting against Gundabad, and we have the Misty Mountain orcs on our side. So it is kind of hard to tell who's on whose side from just straight up looking, but what I'll do is I'll try my best to hover over the units so you guys can get a good idea of what person is fighting. We take a look at the other side. we can see that the forces of Rune have actually taken us somewhat off guard, and Dol are rushing as fast as they can to make their way over here to try and put up a defense. I don't think we really thought that the enemy could cross these river crossings, and we kind of assumed that they wouldn't be able to do that, as we get catapults come flying in, actually setting one of the enemy siege towers alight, which is quite funny. You can see Dol moving all their forces over to this river crossing, as the clansmen got absolutely slaughtered. Look at their dead bodies piled up in front of the halberdiers. They did not stand a chance against these guys whatsoever. We're also going to quickly just turn up the music just a little bit. We'll go up to 15 music because we want some music in the background. Obviously it's copyright, so hopefully this video doesn't get claimed. You know, it's pretty quiet in the background. More artillery coming in. And again, they do just miss. Thank God they missed. They are setting their own siege tower alight, which I guess is pretty good for us. So the city is being hammered by artillery right now. More infantry being brought out. But Gundabad are sending in their elite soldiers, I believe, now. Oh, they're not. Arnor sending up some militia to help out, but they are sending in a bunch of these trolls. And these trolls can break through and really make it easier for these elite units, these guardians of Khardun, to come up and then, you know, push through the lines themselves. And they're having a pretty uncontested way across this river crossing. Something maybe we could have done, which could have really have helped us out here, is actually took over the bridge ourselves and brought our own crossbows onto the bridge and then hammered this position as they try and make their way down. However, we did not decide to do that. We decided to let them push up, and now these trolls are going to cause some pretty huge damage as they run through my Dwarven battle line. I don't think my Dwarven battle line is even looking. No, it's not. And these trolls are just going to run straight through my formation and onto the archers. As the archers try their best to flee for their lives, the trolls are not going to give up. They're going to be going in hot pursuit. Some more of the Harad infantry are making their way up. And these dismounted Serpent Guard are going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the trolls. This is a pretty heavy elite unit, especially if all these archers, as you can see, just turn their entire focus on killing the trolls. There's so many arrows pouring, making their way in, pinning down these trolls. And look how many of them have already died. That is pretty intense already, as the artillery fire does continue to go back and forth. Oh yeah, these Muhad tribesmen, they're going to be great. Javelin infantry slaughters trolls. So if these guys keep up, you can already see the trolls are pretty much dealt with. After all of that, how expensive these trolls are, and they're literally almost dead. Very, very nice work there by the Harad player. More artillery going in, none really finding big targets though, unfortunately. The fight on the bridge is also going off, and it is fully erupting. Luckily, this siege tower is actually kind of helping us out a bit more than it is helping out the enemy. I think the main focus of this siege tower here was to block our artillery and to block our missiles. However, it does mean that they can only get a couple soldiers in against ours, and it means I'm only having to commit 4 or 5 dwarfs at a time to try and push back this assault. I also just killed so many of my own dwarfs there with some friendly fire, which is going to kind of nullify the point I was just making of it, them finding it hard to push up their soldiers. However, with some nice artillery fire of our own, that should hopefully kind of clean this out. But yeah, my point does still stand. They can only commit a few soldiers, and we only need a few soldiers to hit, and there we have it! Some lovely artillery strikes coming in, finding their mark, killing maybe 100 Arnor heavy infantry, along with the missile fire, which again is just pouring in, and another amazing artillery hit right there, burning so many of these Arnorian heavy infantry, and they're already shaken. I would not be surprised if we saw another shot come in and actually seeing these guys rout, as my dwarfs are just holding the bridge. They have given their oath to hold this bridge. And something that you guys might find really cool in this battle is the dwarfs, you know, things obviously don't go well for us here. We do end up getting pushed back as more and more of the heavy infantry does end up turning up to the battle. So because of that, you know, we end up retreating. However, the dwarfs stand firm. The dwarfs hold their line in the city, and they bide time for everyone else to escape. And we have a pretty epic last stand, so make sure to stick around for the dwarven fight to the death, just like dwarves should be. It does not look good though for the southern warband spearmen right now, as the Gondorian infantry gets round the flank and starts to envelop them. This entire flank is not looking great for us. However, we do still have plenty of men at the bridge to kind of hold firm. Again, just looking at the dead bodies piling up is pretty disgusting. But this left side is looking very depleted. The Southern Lancers are running out of men. More reinforcements are being brought up though. Apollo is bringing up some of his heavy Goblin infantry to try and supplement these lines. And he's going to be charging into the side of the Gondorian heavy infantry, along with some javelins I believe he's also sending in if we go a bit further back. Yeah, we can see some of these Muhad tribesmen are throwing in their javelins, and also got some archer fire helping. So, you know, this side isn't lost yet. It's not looking really, you know, super secure, but it's not lost yet. So, you know, as long as the longer they can hold off, the better. We do have some of the Guardians pushing in, but they are up against some heavy Serpent infantry. So, very interesting to see who does win this engagement. I imagine it's going to be Gundabad just because of the sheer amount of men they actually have brought to this battle on the side. We're definitely going to be inflicting some casualties. You can also see more of our men actually being broken right here. And Apollo is just shoving in more Goblin infantry. But we have managed to push back the Arnorian advance and pretty much silence anything on the bridge. At the moment, we just have some Hobbit archers and some Arnor archers on the bridge. And everything else is pushing down the left flank. So we've kind of almost, me with the support of the team, have managed to actually clean out this bridge attack so we can focus more men elsewhere. Which is obviously exactly what we are planning on doing. However, you can see the Southern Lancers are pretty much being broken. Not many of them left as the Gondor just closing their gap. Some more of the Dol Amroth Sword Militia having to be committed just to stop them from being broken. But yeah, this right side of the river crossing is not looking great. That is for sure. We just need more men here. However, we have laid our defense. Obviously, we have more catapults. You can see the retreat is starting to happen already, as I'm already preemptively bringing back this catapult. You can see that some more of my infantry is starting to fall back to our second defense. We're planning on having, obviously, an outer defense by the bridges, and then we're going to have a defense outside the walls, and then we're going to have our final defense in the city, which should be very cool indeed. So what we'll do is we'll continue just to hold firm here for as long as possible. But you can see all our archers are making their way back. Some of these runic swiftblades, though, have managed to make their way through the broken lines of our beach defense and are getting onto the archers and are trying to kill the archers as best they can. You know, stop these guys from retreating, because the more these guys can kill, the better. What's happening over here as well? Oh, we're actually having some of the Dol Amroth men-at-arms charging down the bridge. This is nice. If they can catch these crossbows, which I don't think they're going to do. This was a nice move, which is something I didn't see whilst playing this battle. This should hopefully catch a lot of the enemy forces, and if it did work, it would have caught a lot of the enemy forces. But we are in quick retreat right now. All our forces which we have not engaged are making their way back. However, my halberdiers are not going to retreat. These are dwarven halberdiers. This is where they have made their bed, and they will sleep in it. This is to be their tomb, and so be it. The dwarves have been ordered to hold this line, and they will. They'll kill as many of the enemy as they can. And they actually hold off for a pretty ridiculous amount of time. Same with the Serpent Guard on this right flank as well. They're holding to the bitter end, just trying to bide as much time for the rest of our forces to retreat. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can really see the battlefield in the top right hand side. But a nice move here by WK, pushing up some of his Guardians to just fully surround the rest of the dismounted Serpent Guard. So a nice move here to kind of clean these guys up. But it does look like the enemy have pretty much, you know, an easy job of pushing up. We also have some of my dwarfs here as well in the river, completely surrounded yet fighting to the last. This is why I love the dwarf. They're just so epic. 40% of the enemy have actually already been killed as well, which is something to note. 40%. We've lost 34%, so, you know, we are definitely running out of men considering they had so many more men to begin with. And my dwarfs do end up routing on this river crossing. So this is going to provide the enemy an easy move to get around the rest of their units. However, I still am blocking off this position right here with some support from Apollo's light infantry. But my halberdiers are holding firm. Everyone else is retreating through the city itself. The Serpent Guard trying to cause as much nuisance as possible. And I believe the same fate has befalled our forces over on this right hand side as well. Yeah, the last couple units of Goblin infantry are getting cut down now by the Gondorian heavy infantry and the runic infantry as well. Yeah, just killing these kind of like rear guards we have left. And all our rest of our units are just literally straight up retreating, if not already broken. And unfortunately, one of our Harad generals have now died. He got killed on the charge by a heavy amount of missile fire, and that's not going to be good for us. That's not going to be good. Losing our general early is pretty brutal. I'm not sure where about his cavalry unit is. I think it's over here, but he's being focused down by all manner of missiles right now. He did manage to get a wonderful charge off on the witches though, and killing these witches is huge because these guys shoot out firebolts which can just disintegrate heavy infantry in a defensive position. So getting rid of these guys is important. Maybe it wasn't worth the general, who knows, I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But very, very nice, you know, kind of exchange there. I think they killed pretty much all the witches besides a couple of them. The wargs coming up, these warg skirmishers making their way up, throwing their javelins. The cavalry's going to come in once more. Going to get a nice little charge off there, hopefully killing the rest of the witches. You can see plenty of them going down. I think one's running away right now, trying to survive, and hopefully the enemy can get them. But I mean, already look at the amount of dead bodies just laying here on the beach where the defense was happening, or the river crossing where the defense was happening. Very, very brutal. The enemy forces are completely pouring in now. However, the dwarfs are still here. The dwarfs are actually making ground on the bridge. They're about to be completely enveloped. The dwarfs don't care. You know, if they're surrounded, if they've got their left flank exposed, their right flank exposed. This siege tower has really gone a mile to helping my soldiers. Because when they try and kill them, these dwarfs will be able to fight in really small, close quarter combat. And that really does benefit the dwarfs. Really, really helps them out. The rest of the southern lancers are currently engaged with the warg skirmishers, whose javelins are going to be dangerous. But the majority of our forces have now escaped the battlefield, which is the most important thing. Getting all this infantry back was the main goal of this. You know, getting these heavier archers back, and the crossbows back, and the trebuchets and the catapults. That was kind of our main plan on that retreat. So if we had to sacrifice a couple of units, then I think that was completely worth it.
My lord. Our men are in control of the city.
Well, that's good, considering this is our city. It'd be good if we did control it. So now for the majority of the battle, as Arnold tries to envelop me, the dwarfs are having none of it. They'll fight on this bridge to the last man. So now the next part of the battle is the enemy. They've managed to take the bridges, they've managed to take the river crossings. Now the next part of it is them just bringing up more and more forces and are slowly trying to whittle a retreat back and get ready for the next engagement. So what I'll do now is I will cut the battle. Nothing much really happens for the future of the battle besides maybe a little skirmish here and there, but that's fine. So what I'll do is I'll cut the battle until the enemy have formed up here and are ready to pursue their next assault. Okay guys, the next part of the battle has now begun. We have formed up a defensive perimeter around the outer walls. The enemy have pushed up all their artillery along with their infantry. I think they have a couple more soldiers left to bring into the city, which are now moving across the bridge with their siege towers. Yeah, you can see these noblemen, these axeman nobles, making their way across the city now, or across the city bridge now, to actually bring these into the town. However, they have made a few breaches already in our wall using their artillery, as well as destroying a lot of our own artillery, which is not good for us. We've already lost one trebuchet, and I'm pretty sure a couple more of these will be going down very soon. Having their own catapults up here very close and using them to snipe our own artillery is going to be paying off for them. We could definitely march out here and try and kill this, but we don't want to give up our defensive position. Because if we take a look at our defensive position, we have every single street that they could possibly come down defended right now. I think there's some paths down here they can't come. We have some pikemen here. I believe they can also come through here as well. But again, we have some heavy infantry there. And it's going to be up to the enemy to really force us into doing something. Or if we just don't want to sit here and get shot. Because we definitely could push forward. As you can see, some more artillery shots coming off. But the enemy just have so many catapults shooting at us. If we could maybe get a direct hit here, that would be great. But the enemy are going to be hammering us. As you can see, they've already taken down one piece of the wall. And my hammer guard is getting having a bad time of it. We're going to be retaliating with our own artillery. Again, unfortunately missing. Oh, they got a nice hit off there on my spearmen. But we're dwarfs. We're not going to be like the men who are currently hiding behind the houses. We're going to hold firm and try and keep the enemy back. Yeah, you can see the breach that the enemy have already made right here. With the support of the rest of their siege towers, which they are slowly bringing up, I think it'll give them an easier job of actually pushing up. They also have all their elite soldiers up on this left flank, some pretty heavy pikemen, along with the heavy infantry of Rune. These pikemen are going to be probably the only unit they can use to actually match the halberdiers right here, because the pikemen obviously have a longer range than the halberdiers, so having them pikemen up here will probably make it in their favor of breaking this little siege right here. Yeah, exactly that. You can actually see my catapults have now been sniped, which has been pretty sad for us. Pretty sad indeed. And I think this is when we decide. We decide that we are no longer going to sit here. We are going to march out like any brave dwarf should, and we're going to charge their position, because we don't think that they're going to be prepared for this whatsoever. We don't think that they're going to be, you know, look what they've got here. They've got a couple units of these swift blades, which aren't that heavy at all, and these catapults. So what we decided to do is send out our cavalry, send out our infantry in a second, and we're going to use that just to break these guys as best as we can. I believe Apollo is going to be committing his infantry any second now, and then my spearmen and all of my heavy infantry are going to be following. We're also shooting some putrid meat here as well. A nice, hopefully a perfect hit on these guys gonna rout them. Because if we look around the battlefield, a lot of this infantry are going around the flanks, and they're kind of almost abandoning their center for now. They do obviously have some pikemen, but if we can kill, you know, whatever's out here, that's going to be really good for us. And here we go. The dwarves have decided to push out. And this is what I was saying earlier about when the dwarves decide to make their stand. You'll see it very soon, and it's an epic one, that is for sure. So with the support of the artillery, the dwarven spearmen, I'm pretty sure at this point I moved out my entire army. Apollo is bringing out some pikemen as well. But yeah, I think everything I have left is being brought to this battle, besides maybe my general unit, which is sitting back here. He looks very cool indeed. And we have this Erebor infantry as well. So I've left these two units back to maybe help defend the city walls, but all my crossbowmen I have left, and everything else is being charged out. And the enemy are quite slow to react to this. I don't think they were expecting that. The Southern Lancers or the Serpent Bodyguard are keeping the enemy in place, harassing their harassing their artillery, which was great. This was our whole plan, was to charge out at the enemy, silence these artillery pieces, and try and do as much damage as we could. You're going to see my Dwarven Spearmen charging in against the Witch Realm Pikemen. Luckily, we managed to get pretty close to the Witch Realm Pikemen, so they're in close quarter combat, and there we have it. My general got sniped. How sad is that? He was one of the only, I think 4 men died in that catapult hit, and my general happened to be one of them, yeah. 4 men died here, and my general was one of them. So because of this, my dwarfs are angry. They're going to be charging forward. Everything I have left now is being thrown into this battle. This engagement right here is all my dwarfs are going to be committed to the battle. They are angry. They have had enough of these artillery fires. They've lost their general, so they're going to push on and kill as many of these guys as possible. And it's looking pretty good for us. We've already managed to rout this unit of Witch Realm Pikemen. The enemy are, of course, sending up reinforcements. Some pretty sturdy reinforcements at that. With these Guardians of Khardoum. They're going to be charging up against the Doamroth Men-at-Arms. My dwarfs are finding ways round. You can see some of my siege crew, or my artillery crew, and my Ironfoot spearmen getting around the flank. Lots of archer fire coming in. So this is good. Us pushing up here is forcing the enemy to commit more men directly here. Instead of sending, you know, support to their flanks, which I believe are currently actually being engaged with right now. Oh, but yeah, we're having a little bit of a scrap right here. Some of the enemy trolls and wargs making their way up here. Yeah, you can see the snow trolls. Oh, no, they're Apollo snow trolls. My mistake. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, you can see right here, some raiders right here died to the oncoming slaughter of the heavy goblin infantry and patrol support. So the enemy are trying to push around these flanks, but I think we're kind of keeping their attention elsewhere and stopping them from really using their numbers to their advantage. The heavy infantry of the dwarfs, though, the Ironfoot infantry, showing their worth, showing what they are made of. I mean, if the halberdiers are anything to go by, we know that they're going to be doing a great job. Especially with the archer fire as well. If we can use the crossbows back here, which I've brought up to slaughter the pikemen, that's going to be really useful. Or my crossbows, which are currently on their way up. If these guys can kill the pikemen, I think we'll be in a great situation. The beautiful looking Doamroth swordsmen fighting off against the guardians. And again, we'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can fully see everything going on. So you guys can see if there's engagements going on around this right flank. And it also helps me, I guess, as well. So they are starting to push up some more elite soldiers. The Witch Realm Hammerers are actually here. That's a dangerous unit. If these snow trolls can get in on them and get a good charge. I mean, the Snag Stalkers aren't going to do anything, so I don't know why they're running in. More just cannon fodder than anything else. The goblin infantry and the snow trolls should be slaughtering them. I guess they kind of were there to absorb the charge, and now the hammer bodyguard are going to be making their way forward. If we go back to the front lines as well in the streets, we can see more reinforcements on their way. Lots of fire arrows going in. I believe Apollo is trying to set afire these trebuchets. However, I think we soon come to the conclusion that they have no ammunition left, so it's better to use our arrows on the Gondorians and the runic soldiers which are currently stationed here. I love how the streets are just alive with combat. You just got men moving down this street as I'm trying to sneak some soldiers through this flank as best as I can. As many of my Ironfoot spearmen are trying to get round the flank so they can help to envelop these soldiers. And they do exactly that. Unfortunately, we couldn't make our way through this gap, and these enemies had a perfect shot on us. These crossbows had a field day in this battle, because look, they can just shoot directly into my sides, and we can't go and kill them. We couldn't make our way through this little gap right here, so we're going to see plenty of my iron dwarfs actually die right here. But before we go down, we're going to make sure we kill as many of these guys as possible. I'm bringing up my general's bodyguard, this elite unit of hammerers. They're going to get a epic charge into the side of the Guardians of Khardoum, which should hopefully take plenty of them down. The missile fire is coming in thick and fast, but these dwarfs are, they have some pretty heavy armor, and that's going to be doing some nice damage. Definitely wounding. I think we killed like 5 or 6 on the charge, and now that they're surrounded, we're going to be able to kill this unit fairly effectively. The main front lines, though, are still, we're definitely struggling. But I think the main objective of this was a success. We managed to kill their trebuchets, we managed to kill their catapults, and that was the whole point of this like kind of charge out of our forces. Because if we look back, we still have plenty of soldiers there, and all these guys can still retreat if they need to. As I said, my dwarfs are more than happy to give their lives to defend this. And then on this right side, we still have all these halberdiers. We have Apollo holding down the left flank as well, currently keeping them at bay. Apollo's goblin infantry and some southern lancers are holding this flank. So yeah, I think that was a good plan, which we enacted pretty well. We killed a ton of the enemy units. It stopped us from just getting shot to pieces by trebuchets and catapults. And we also had a pretty epic charge out there from the dwarfs, showing what dwarfs are made of. Dwarven steel. God, these Witch Realm Hammer Bodyguard are extremely deadly. The Goblin Infantry are just no real match to them whatsoever, as they just swing around this staffed Warhammer. The Southern Lancers as well, I feel very sorry if they end up getting in combat with them. I believe these Mounted Orc Pikemen, yeah, you can see are getting shot to pieces. That's not too good for them at all. And some more Dalmroth heavy infantry have now arrived, so I think at this point we're still planning on committing to this fight. There's not too much more enemies still left remaining here. However, they do still have all of this, all of these archers back here and these axemen. And I think when these axemen turn up, we finally decide that this battle is probably not going to go our way and we should save our units and fall back. But look at the balanced power, you can see that we've killed actually 60% of the enemy forces. Yeah, we killed 60% of the enemy forces, not half as the dude does say. And we've only lost 56% of ours. So it's not going amazing for us. Obviously, we would like to have killed more at this point. But it's not going horrifically bad. We still have some archers left. We still have a ballista back as well. And my dwarfs are very deadly, still are holding the line. So this battle still does have a way to go, as any good Third Age battle should have. I mean, having 22,000 soldiers as well on the field. I think if you guys want to see a really massive battle, if you go look at Apollo's 300k sub-battle special, I believe he had 55,000 soldiers on the field of battle at a ministerial scenario, which is just insane. 55,000 soldiers. I think I'd go as far to say as that's the biggest Total War battle ever put on YouTube. 55,000 soldiers is mind-blowing. It really, really is. And apparently you only had to play it on like half speed to get it not to lag. Just so epic. I think that the battle itself was like an hour and a half long, and it took him about 3 hours to record it whilst playing. So now the Axemen are turning up. This is not looking too great for us, The Axemen have turned up. They're pretty good at chewing through my armor. So I believe what the plan is for the Dalmroth to retreat back let everyone else kind of take the slack. Let my dwarves hold firm here for as long as they can, as I'll zoom out a couple shots as well. Yeah, and just everyone else retreat back, because Apollo is starting to struggle on this left flank as Gundabad do continue to push on with the support of Arnor. Yeah, the Southern Lancers are going to be finished. These Rich Realm Hammer Guard are still going on, and they're going to get a really nice flanking hit right here. Oh, you poor Southern Lancers. Or Southern Spearmen. Yeah, here we go. Rest of the Hammer Guard coming in. Yeah, these guys are not going to be long for this while. They are going to get slaughtered here with these hammerers in the back of their formation. And that should allow a lot more of these units to make their way out, because we've still got some really elite units. So this unit of Guardians right there. Some Dunedain Troll Slayers, which are pretty good in combat, along with some Snag Archers. Some more Archers over on this left flank.
Only half the enemy force remains.
So we are definitely killing them, as you can tell by the advisor. But I just don't think we're killing them fast enough at this current moment in time. The Axemen turning up is going to be brutal, but we are just losing numbers. I think we've got some enemy missile fire coming in our flank, hitting us where our armor is weak. Let's see how the Erebor Guard are doing as well. The Erebor Guard are currently fighting as best they can against the Axemen. And look at that. Yeah, that's just so brutal and depressing to see. The Archer Fire just has a direct view of our forces. It's such a shame I couldn't send soldiers over there, because we are just getting shot to pieces right now. Hopefully they're committing a few friendly fire shots, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, that is just such a nice position for the crossbowmen, who are going to be just hammering our entire battle line. If it wasn't for them crossbowmen, I think our dwarfs could have held for much longer. Well, this is my entire force now. The dwarfs are almost spent. They have not much left. They've given their lives for the defense of Cair Andros, and they have to just simply hope that it is enough to win the day. Unfortunately though, it's not looking good for at least the Dwarven sides. Everyone else has managed to retreat. We got some support from Dalmroth, but as long as everyone else makes their way out of this battle, that is the main thing of the engagement. And I believe everyone else has decided just to simply fall back inside the city, use the walls as a defensive measure. Even though there are a few breaches in the walls, it's nothing too crazy, and we'll get ready to go on to stage 3 of the battle, which is the city defense. I guess the keep defense, I should call it, as this is kind of a pretty cool looking keep. Yeah, the Southern Lancers actually managed to push off the Hammer. Oh no, the Hammer Guard just went for another unit instead. They were like, yeah, we'll go kill someone else. We don't mind too much about this puny unit of Southern Lancers. Or Southern Warband. They keep on mispronouncing them. I mean, we're actually doing some decent damage to these guys. I see quite a few of them being bloodied. But maybe they were just bloodied from the battle beforehand. Yeah, the last remnants are retreating, and my retreat has been cut off now. Even if the dwarves wanted to, there is no way for them to escape. We're going to get a couple more crossbow hits off onto these guys as the Witch Realm pikemen come flying in. I try and get as many shots off as possible, because you can see the damage we actually do. Look at the numbers just going down. We killed like 20 dudes in that volley. However, they're going to keep on charging us and chasing us down, cutting off any retreat my dwarves plan on having. I think I only have the Erebor infantry left remaining now. Everyone else is dead. But, oh, we do have some Hammer Guard, or some of my Hammerers left remaining as well. The Hammerers of Gundabad still fighting. But besides that, you know, nothing left. And the Dwarfs, the Doamroth have a few men-at-arms, 46 of them to be exact. And they're going to be going down very soon as well. So I think this was definitely worth it. Look how many dead enemies are here compared to allies. And if them archers or them crossbows didn't have a perfect shot into our side, I think we could have killed so many. Maybe even breaking through this formation and then getting onto the back line of archers and clansmen and killing all of these guys. It could have really turned the battle into our favour there. But at the moment, it does not look great. We have a few units of men coming back. Oh, this one Witch Realm pikeman just comes and slaughters everyone. He's going to slowly make his way through these 14 Southern Warband spearmen right now. But everyone else has retreated. The last fall of the dwarves has commenced. And I'll get ready to bring it to you guys when the third stage of the battle has now begun, when the enemy are a bit closer to the walls and are ready to assault them. The ladders are at the wall. Arnor are going to be kicking off this initial battle, even though the ladders look a bit short. Maybe they're going to boost each other up onto the walls themselves. But yeah, Arnor are going to be the first force making their way onto the walls, getting ready for a nice little scrap against Apollo's Black Legion right here. Blackwatch Legion, the awesome looking unit with the skulls on either side of their head. These guys are going to not be an easy foe to dislodge off this wall, that is for sure. The battering ram is also up here. And my dwarfs have finally been beaten over at the defensive position right here, meaning that the entirety of whatever is over here still is now going to be advancing. We still have some of these elite Shadow Guard, along with some of these crossbowmen. All these Dragon Wrath crossbowmen are going to be a foe to be reckoned with. They definitely have some elite units still left remaining, that is for sure. And especially on this left side, we have some Wardens of the White Tower. If you guys saw my last Cair Andros video, you can definitely see how good these guys are in that battle, as they held to the last man. It was pretty intense indeed. We also have a catapult being pushed up, and he's, I imagine, going to be breaking down another piece of a wall before he does decide to make his way in. And his crossbows are going to be getting some nice shots off. But we definitely still have plenty of men still left remaining in the defense of this once glorious city. We're not going to be giving up lightly, that is for sure. Are the men-at-arms making their way up or not? I think they're waiting for more reinforcements to actually, to be pushed up here. Yeah, I think they're waiting for more reinforcements, getting their archers. So this is a smart move. It wouldn't make very much sense if they were just to really commit everything they had whilst the advancement happened. If they commit everything and not everyone's here, that's not going to go well for them, is it? So they're going to be waiting for everyone else to make their way up. Wait till the siege tower is at the wall. This siege tower part is actually kind of undefended as well. So we have to be very cautious of putting more men up here. Oh, was that a big hit? I kind of zoomed in. Oh, that was a big hit indeed. The catapult having a perfect angle through the siege hole right there. And I think that's going to force a lot of soldiers to re-maneuver. Oh, wow. If they get a shot in the back of these dismounted Swan Knights, I think I might cry a little bit inside. Because I haven't actually seen any of this battle now. Any of this engagement, I went off because all my units had died. And oh my god, another amazing hit here, killing so many of the trollmen. I actually went off at this point because all my units were dead, so there's no point me sticking around. So I went ahead and stopped watching the battle. So now it's like me watching the battle for the first time with you guys now, which is, I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. I do know how the battle ends, of course, but I don't know how the battle actually gets to that point. So it's going to be fun to see for sure. I imagine the enemy or the attackers are just waiting for everything to be into place before they do push up. Oh my, I'm literally cringing every time I see that catapult come close to this dismounted Swan Knights. They're just so bulked up, and they're just asking for the artillery to come their way. And if they get a direct hit here, they're going to kill like 70 men easily with one catapult hit. Can they not get up these walls? How will this happen? Because this siege equipment is way too small for the walls. So are they just going to like jump up, teleport up onto these walls? I'm interested to see. Oh, thank God that shot missed as well. They should really maybe try and hit these Blackwatch Legion. That could be a good idea. Is the Center Force sending some units now? Let's have a look. They're starting to slowly move up soldiers. These guys just need to get in the face. They need to push everything they have now into the battle. Because that's the only way they're going to win. They need to commit all their forces at several breaches all at once and just try and overwhelm the defenders. Because as with defenders, there's a decent amount of men left. They still have 30% of their forces left. Okay, finally here we have some Apollo pushing up his, Monster pushing up some of his trollmen of Harad. So do these siege towers just not work, or what? I'm really confused into what's happening here, because they're not moving up any of their siege equipment, finally smashing down the gate. They could either be waiting for the rest of the army to come up here before they use all of this, or it's just glitching out because the walls are too big and the siege equipment can't make their way up here. So I guess only time will tell, and we'll be able to see, once the rest of the army does make their way up here. It's not the end of the world, if they can't get their men up here. I think they can. I don't think it's going to be an issue for them. I think they'll just kind of teleport up there. But if they can't, it's not the end of the world. They have a few breaches. They can breach 2 gates, and they already have a hole in the wall. I personally think they're just waiting for everyone to get up here so they can initiate their final siege all at once. Use up the rest of their missiles and then push on everything they have. Oh, thank God. Every single time that catapult comes in, I cringe a little bit inside. Thank God that one missed as well. Didn't even kill any of these southern archers out here. Luckily, Apollo only has his crossbowmen out here, kind of acting as a meat shield. We have some of the halberds from Diamroth as well, ready to push into the flank as soon as they come through here. And another catapult shot missing. I think it'd be really deadly to actually try and focus down this unit right here, because they're in plain vision right now of the catapult itself.
Arms, my lord! The enemy's ram has breached the gates!
The gate has now gone down. I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see more men pushing into this gate. But you have to be very careful of the burning oil. Like, they kind of need to take down these positions. They need to take over the wall itself and the gate itself before anything else major really happens. Because if they want to push men through this gate, they're going to have to go through the burning oil. And that's not going to be a fun case, especially when they're up against Diamroth dismounted knights. You know, these guys are not going to be a walk in the park for any unit in the game. They are super heavy infantry. Especially, oh, that was a very nice volley there from the javelin men right there, the coastal wardens. They're going to be killing a ton of these guys who have all clumped up here. Oh, some really nice javy hits right there. Yeah, you can see the men at arms from Arnold just going down. And what do they have to look forward to charge onto? Them Diamroth knights just waiting for them? They're getting slaughtered right now. You can see every single volley is just killing like 10 men, 15 men every single time. I think now would be the time for the enemy to push in. And is that what... I don't know, actually, no, they're running away with these guys, trying to force them elsewhere. So here we go. Yeah, okay, exactly. So the siege equipment did work. I thought it would. I thought they would just kind of glitch through the walls and teleport up there. That's good. That'll give the enemy some good footholds in the fortress itself. I assume they'll be initiating everyone all at once, or what? The defenders don't actually have any forces up on this wall, though. Oh, God, they're retreating? What are they doing? Why are they going back down the walls now? Why would they not just take the gatehouse, make the gatehouse theirs, and then push soldiers through the gate? I don't really know why that's not happening. The envelopment, though. Look at this. The city is surrounded. The keep has nowhere else to go. It simply has what remains of the defenders ready to receive. We're actually going to stick it on 6 speed. I don't want to cut it because I think the battle is literally about to start over here any second now. The enemy are just getting everyone into place. But we'll go on 6 speed just whilst we wait for that to happen. So a few of the soldiers are up here. We'll 6 speed it just for a little bit longer. Wait for a couple more men to actually make their way up here. Oh my god, that catapult shot was so close to hitting there. Oh, a really nice move here as we'll go back down to normal speed. A really nice move here to get these archers up on the wall. These archers have a perfect vision of the entire courtyard of this defense of this city right here. They are also in clear vision of the archers for the defenders, so they're going to be getting hammered as well. Oh, nice. We finally get to see what this Black Legion is made of on the wall. They are only up against a battle. Oh, they are up against some battle-ready Dunedain, so it's not like they're up against some weak-ass units. I think everyone else just needs to bring up the rest of their forces. They have to attack at once. If they don't attack at one big time, they're just going to get kind of surrounded and killed. They need to be coming from every angle at every single time they can when the attack is initiated. They can't give the defenders time to you know, if the defenders want, they can commit lots of men to this position right now, kill all these battle-ready Dunedain, which we currently watch fight, and then just commit your troops elsewhere. They need to throw in more and more men where they can. They can't be sitting around if they expect to win this battle. You know, push in these wardens, push in these clan crossbowmen, push in the pikemen. Sitting back is not going to give them victory here, and everyone needs to hurry their ass up and get into the battle. Luckily, they have these guys have pushed up their forces. But I don't know what the Shadow Guard and units like this are just sitting around not doing anything. I think it's going to really hinder the forces of the attacking faction, because now Apollo has pushed up some of his heavy goblins. He doesn't really have any defense up here. If he was, say, to push some infantry up here whilst pushing the gatehouse and this siege and this breach in the wall at the same time, then, you know, the defenders wouldn't be able to deal with all these breaches at once and would have to split up their forces and make some harsh decisions. At the moment, though, they're just deciding to commit as many men as they can up onto this wall, which is going to be a hard fight because you can already see the javelin men right now are just harassing the forces. They've got their bare sides exposed to them, and these javelin men are having a wonderful day at the office right now. Yeah, look at them. They're just slaughtering the soldiers. This is such a deadly... This is one of the reasons it's so hard to kind of take the walls on a fortress like this, because so many of the archers can just fire up here and hit into the exposed sides of the attackers trying to get over the walls. That's why it's such a good idea to attack so many multiple positions at once, so that the defenders can't really do that. So more goblins. I think Apollo is committing his goblins back down now. They've done what they needed to do. They've cleaned out the actual upper defense right here. And now they're pushing elsewhere. And some of these snag archers are actually routed. These 141 snag archers are actually routed from the battlefield. What a shameful display right there. And at the moment, yeah, there's just not enough pressure on the defenders. They can really do whatever they want. These crossbowmen from Apollo can just harass anyone coming close. There needs to be a bit more urgency, I feel, for the attackers if they plan on winning this battle. And there just isn't. Granted, this battle was extremely laggy when we were playing it, so that obviously plays a factor. But, I mean... surely they could decide just to, hold off on their attack until everyone else is up here, because... look how far, there's still so many people just sitting back right now. They need to be thrown into the combat. Like, why are they bringing up a trebuchet? They've already got a breach. You don't want to make another breach maybe, but the wall is, pretty healthy as well. Don't really see a point in pushing this up. They just need to commit everything, I think, and brute force their way forward, because they can definitely do that. They can easily take this wall. And whilst they're taking the wall, they can support their men on this left side. They can take the gatehouse, which will then allow them to push more men forward. They can push down into the courtyard with infantry. Obviously, that's easier said than done. But even still, that would be my strategy right now. But again, I'm dead, so I guess what does that show? I'm dead in this battle. My dwarf died long ago, so these players are obviously much better than me and have a more strategic plan for the entire battle. If we look at the percentages killed in the battle so far as well, we can see that 80% of the enemy force have been slain, so they only have 20% of their men left, and the allies, the defenders, currently have 73% of the men killed. So they have 27% left of the battle. These guys, yes, we have some more brave some brave men at arms right here, waiting for their turn to come up on the walls, which they are doing a good job of taking. There's not too many of the Black Legion left, and I imagine the missile fire over here from the archers will be running out very, very quickly, if there's even any left back here. But it looks like it's all just infantry and some ballista. This ballista still being having this left is really good. Oh, this guard right here, 94 heavy two-handed sword infantry. These guys are going to go to town in the battle. If these guys get committed towards the end, I can't just only imagine how good they're going to be. They're going to really, really just do some work in the engagement. But the main battle is just simply up here, and I don't know if I don't know if Arnor are actually winning this or not. They're having to commit a lot of men, and they're kind of almost being... yeah, they're kind of almost being... maybe they attack too early, but they're kind of just being left alone to die, whilst everyone else slowly moves up their artillery pieces and moves up their siege towers. I think if they all attacked at once, they would have had a much easier time of it, but because they haven't, they're just wasting time, letting that ally die. And this is going to come back to bite them, I think. They still have some javelin men inside the city, which is going to be huge. Having javelin men still alive at this point in the game is going to be massive. But Arnor is still committing more and more men to this battle. You can see that they are slowing up now with the amount of men they actually do decide to throw up. I think they are now deciding that they have to kind of wait for their allies before they do make their final push. I wonder if these trebuchets have any ammunition left as well. I would assume they do if they're taking this long to bring them up and not committing any more men. I would assume they still do have soldiers left to be put on them. We can finally see that the forces of these Gondor axemen are now getting ready to break the siege of this city. Can they make their way on the wall here? If they hold it, can they make their way up here? I really wonder. Because it says buildings held by Harad, but if they push infantry up here, I wonder if they can make their way onto the wall. That'd be very interesting. Thankfully, though, we're about to get some more action finally, as we have some of the Guardians and the Gondorian archers as well. Pushing up onto this siege tower, ready to climb over here. They are going to be facing some of the trollmen of Harad, though. That's not going to be an easy task for them to complete. But they are veterans of Ozilius, so they're not going to be easy, and they're not going to be a pushover, that is for sure. And I think the final stage of the battle is now going to be here. Everyone is attacking. The full assault is finally happening. Some wardens of the White Tower need to get ready to break down this gate. Do they have a battering ram still left remaining? Do they have a battering ram? I don't know. I don't think they do have a battering ram. Wow. That's annoying for the attackers on this left side. After all that time, they could have easily just ran round here, taken this battering ram and brought it round. They maybe should have done that, because that just opens up another breach. We do have the assault here from the Shadow Guard. The Shadow Guard are extremely strong. They can definitely do a good amount of damage if they get into combat. However, the Halberdiers are not going to be giving up this street lightly. This is where they thrive. Oh, we also destroyed a siege tower. I don't know. It's none of these siege towers, right? Oh, is this siege tower actually broke down? Wow, how did this siege tower go down? I have no idea how the siege tower went down. That's really weird. But by the looks of it, Arnor have now slowed up. They're like, fuck you guys can die, and we'll push on. The winged swordsman looks sick from Gondor. I love these custom models. The main fight is going to be at this breach and on the walls. So we're going to see the Axemen and the Shadow Guard going off against the Troll Hunters and the Halberdiers or the Halberds from Dol Amroth. This is going to be our main fight. So if the attackers can break through here and also, you know, support their men on the walls, but I think the attackers have this. But if the defenders can stay true, push the enemy back, keep up the missile fire, use their javelins as well. I mean, I can't see the attackers breaking this at all. Oh, thank God that missed. That one missed as well. Oh my God, thank God. There's still a ballista left as well, yeah. This is going to be very hard for the attackers to do anything, I think. They really needed to attack all at once. I think if they had any hope of winning this battle, they needed to push everyone in all at once and just hope for the best. And that's something I don't think they can really do right now. Oh, that one just went over the top. Is the other one going to find its mark? No, thank God, that's still missing as well. So it's just Ballista can still shoot. They've got Dol Amroth Knights at the gate. These Black Legion have managed to clean up the ladders there. I wouldn't be surprised if more men did get sent off. Some of the walls have been taken now? That's not too good. The Trollmen are fighting hard. Oh, the Winged Knights, though, pushing up some of the Gondorian Winged Swordsmen. They're two-handed, heavy Gondorian infantry. They'll be doing a great job at kind of cleaning up this wall. And if they can open this gate up for the rest of their forces to pull forward, it'll make it much easier for them. The Axemen and the Shadow Guard both fighting on and on. I love the look of the Shadow Guard. They have this huge ass halberds. They don't use them like halberds. They use them like a greatsword. They just swing them around like they don't even care. It's pretty awesome. Are they gonna fight? They're just like facing off against these guys. The Dol Amroth Knights are slowly edging forward. They want combat, but Arnor are just not giving it to them. Arnor are committing all their men elsewhere. If they still have 2 more units, they need to send these guys up the ladders, up the siege towers. Because I don't think the enemy have a lot of missiles, or the allies, sorry, have a lot of missiles left. Are they finally going to commit them? Or they're just teasing the Swan Knights right now. I think they're going to go up this siege tower. This is exactly what they should do. Whilst the defenders' focus are over on this right-hand side, they should push everyone up this tower onto the wall and then come down here and start attacking these dismounted Serpent Guard. Oh God, there's still an entire unit of dismounted Serpent Guard still left remaining. That is deadly. The battering ram has now been pushed round, I think. Yeah, the battering ram has been taken from there and pushed round to help break through this gate. However, the gate is just open and these snag archers, or these snag stalkers, are going to be running through. And there is no burning oil either. Wow. No burning oil. That's pretty big. Oh, but to silence this is very interesting. The Darmroth Knights and the Serpent Guard are going to be pushing outside the city again with another aggressive move, trying to take the enemy off guard and just try and cut them down, keep these units extremely busy. This unit of Darmroth, or this unit of Heavy Guard, are getting slaughtered by the crossbows. Yeah, these crossbows have a direct view over into the courtyard. One of the generals goes down in the heavy fighting that is now erupting over here. It's hard to tell who's who, because you have the Guardians of the White Tower looking very much like the forces of Gondor as well, or of Arnor, or of Dol Amroth, sorry. They obviously have very similar cultures. How's the gate looking? The gate's looking okay. It was a little bit of a struggle, but I think they managed to clean up whatever got pushed through this gate right now. And the main battles are over on this left flank, as we can see the Dol Amroth Knights. Oh, that looks very cool indeed. Seeing these Dol Amroth Knights push out against Arnor, trying to silence them. We can see right through the gate as well, and the battles going on in the courtyard. We can probably zoom in one more now, so we can really get a good glimpse of what has left. The balance of power is shifting in the favor of the defenders. And we can actually see that only 10% of the enemy force remains, whereas the defenders currently have 22% of their force. Very nice indeed from the defenders. The Serpent Guard's out. All these Dalmroth Knights, they're looking for blood right now. They see the weakness in the enemy line. Even some of Apollo's Blackwatch Legion have made their way down the ladders, and they are now surrounding what remains of these Troll Slayers and the battle-ready Dunedain. Very, very nice indeed. Over on this left flank, by the looks of it, on this left flank, the Wardens of the White Tower and the support of the Shadow Guard as well. They've done a good job here. They've managed to almost break the defense, but I think the defenders just have way too many men left. They're pushing out here. Are we finally get to see what these Chosen can do? We are currently fighting against the Black Legion, so I imagine this is going to be a very, very hard battle for both sides. No side really taking the clear advantage. That Black Legion just looks so goddamn cool. Look at them with their skulls and their huge shields. I also love how we can just see the battles going on in the background through the wall itself. More and more of the pikemen are now just getting surrounded. The halberdiers are slowly closing in their net, and they are now throwing up some more Uruk pikemen into the battle here, just to continue this envelopment. And if they can win on this far left flank, they can then just commit everything. But are they even going to win on this far left flank? Who knows? The battle-ready Dunedain are putting up a really good fight. A really, really good fight. With the Serpent Guard as well, trying their best. But if we zoom out, you can see the numbers are looking a bit skewed here. I honestly don't know who's going to win. We're finally going to see what the Heavy Guard can do in this battle. Yeah, the battle-ready Dunedain are meeting the Blackwatch Legion as they come down the ladders with the support of the Heavy Guard. That should help them out. But the siege right here is looking, I don't know, pretty good for Arnor. If they can close off this flank against the Dol Amroth Knights, they can maybe surround, these Goblin Heavy Infantry and the Serpent Guard, kill them, and then push into the city. This battle could definitely not be over quite yet. You can definitely see the numbers look very thick for the Blues right now. This is a pure pike-on-pike battle. The Uruk pikes look like they have a bit of a longer reach than, say, the Witch Realm pikemen. Especially now they're pushing in. This is just numbers will be key in this battle. I mean, all my men have routed long, long ago. They used to have a trebuchet left with some ammunition. Maybe could cause a mass rout. I think all our routing units though just go back to the city centre. So even if the defenders do mass rout, they'd have to chase them down. And I don't think that's going to be. Yeah, one of the enemy armies are now fully routing. I think it's Gundabad are being broken from the battlefield. The Chosen are doing a great job though. One of the enemy generals has been slain as well. Awesome. The Chosen are still holding even though they're surrounded. As well as that, how's the battle over on this far right hand side. So it's looking very, very good for the defenders right now. However, as you guys may know, with these battles, it is not over until it is over. anything can happen in these scenario battles. That's one of the things that is so awesome about these earlier games in Total War. The reason that, you know, even if it does look like you're going to lose, the battle can switch sides, you know, with one action can completely, like, revolutionize the way the battle is going. Or evolve the way the battle is going, I should say. That's all it takes. We've got some battle-ready Dunedain fighting against the heavy guard. That's great to see. More of Apollo's infantry are coming around. The Dartmouth Swan Knights really didn't do that great. I was assuming they'd do a bit more than they did. And they kind of actually at the moment getting absolutely surrounded, which is not too good. The rest of the infantry are now charging down with these crossbowmen, finishing them off. And I don't think there's anything left. Yeah, the attackers have some crossbow crew right here, some artillery crew back there. But besides that, everything they have committed here is looking very, very good for the forces of good and the defenders. Oh, wow, though, the witches are still alive? Or is that what these guys do? Oh, that's what the crossbows do. Holy crap, the Dragon with crossbows just shoot out fire. I did not know that. Did they shoot out fire or not? They didn't shoot out fire there. We also have some really cool, really cool swords on their back. Because they just burnt a bunch of these Diamroth halberds. There, they do shoot out fire. Holy crap. This is what I'm saying. The battle is not over until it's over. With strong units like this, then who knows what could happen. They desperately need to surround this unit then and just kind of kill it as quickly as they possibly can. Because letting it live is not a smart move. You just see the amount of damage it can do. Luckily these Chosen are going down. How's the battle on the far left gate? Nice, they've managed to finally defeat these units, so the rest of the forces are still remaining. And they can now surround what remains of these Dunedain Troll Slayers. As the battle does still continue. And this is one of the things I love about Medieval 2. I know I just mentioned about the battles changing, you know, at a whim. But it's just how impactful the engagements are. It feels like there has been a battle here today, right? You know, just going through the battlefield. It's not just one small engagement. I mean, look at the dead bodies here where the dwarfs have their famous last stand. Or over by the river crossing, you know, where we held it for as long as we can and our troops sacrificed their lives to fall back, you know, to allow the rest of the army to retreat. Or the massive bridge battle right here, where we had the halberds, the dwarven halberds holding off against 3, 4 times their numbers. And obviously the trolls, look at the dead bodies here just laying in the river. You know, stuff like this you don't really get with the later games, and it's such a shame. I don't know how they've lost that kind of feel to the battle, but they definitely have. And obviously this battle's like an hour plus, so, you know, also you don't get battles like that anymore, ever. I don't think I've ever seen a Warhammer battle go for more than an hour, which wasn't just stupid. And also I've also cut off a load of, you know, marching in this battle as well. One of the enemy players does admit defeat. However, the others are still fighting as they push on what remains of the dismounted Arnorian Knights. The crossbows have finally been silenced. Thank the gods that they have. Because you just saw how much damage they actually did, you know, once they were shooting. It was pretty goddamn disgusting. That's a crazy cool unit. Though, very, very cool unit. And they're going to put up a pretty good last stand. I would definitely not take that away from them. To be fair though, they are just fighting goblin archers, but as long as they're stopping them from shooting, that's all that matters. Oh, nice. The enemy general, the Harad general, has now been slain on the battlefield. His Chosen have been killed, and that's going to allow these Troll Slayers just to get a really good charge off into the back of them. And I think that's literally going to be the battle. There's still a few units left remaining. We have a small engagement over here of these dismounted Dunedain, who are slowly being whittled down. And especially as the heavy guard come flying in their back as well. When the heavy guard get round here, that's probably just going to rout them. I'm surprised they're not still... I'm surprised they're still standing, if I'm honest. I would have thought these guys would have routed. The Ballista is even joining the battle. The Ballista is actually being pushed up. And I mean, graphics-wise as well, you know, this doesn't even look that bad, considering the game is over 10 years old. Obviously, that is greatly down to the modders creating these, you know, these textures and stuff. Medieval 2, hey, the eternal game. The Chosen are completely surrounded now as well. Cool, we've had some pretty good last stands, and what an epic battle this has been. It's probably been over an hour, so if you guys have made it to the end of this video, please make sure to drop a like and a comment on the video itself. Let me know that you made it here. Just put the word blue in the comments down below. Like, put your normal comment and then just put blue on the end of it, and I'll know that you are an OG. You made it to the end of this, what, probably like hour-long video. And I'll make sure to show you some love by, you know, liking your comment, putting a heart sign there. And if you guys want to see more battles like this, more Third Age Reforged scenario battles, then do let me know, because I'm sure I can get a bunch of replays off of the mod makers. So yeah, first off, I should say a massive thank you to the mod makers for doing this. I'm sure I said that in the intro, but even still. The mod makers for creating this epic map. Let's just have a look at it. They spend so much time making this that it's just, you know, massive props to them. They don't have to do this. This isn't their job to do this. So the fact that they put this much work into creating something for such an old game is really cool. Oh, nice. The dismounted Dunedain are being pushed against the wall. They have no escape. They will fight to the death. I love to see that. I love to see no escape. They have made a grave error, though. I bet you they wish they never came here. As the alliance of Harad, goblins, dwarfs, and men have just been too much for them. We have 21 of them still left, so it's actually an okay amount. But obviously, in comparison to the rest of the army, there is not enough left. The rest of these dragon crossbows, so they are literally the final stand right now. We won't triple speed it. We will watch these last brave souls give their lives for the commander's grave decisions, poor decisions to assault this glorious fortress city. You know, when we were playing this battle as well, we were pretty nervous at this point, or at the previous point when they first initiated the river crossings, because we didn't realize that you could get across the river crossings, so we didn't have a defense set up to repel them, and they kind of made quick work of the river crossings. So it was pretty scary, if I'm honest. But thankfully, the last of them are going to be getting slaughtered right now. And with the reinforcements, you know, the coastal wardens, just more men being poured onto the battlefield. And there we go. They rout from the battlefield, and victory is given to the defenders. Huzzah! So what an awesome battle that was. That was truly epic, you know. When I say these battles are epic, they really are. They turn out so well. So it was only an average victory, but let's take a look at the kills. Jackiefishhh on the dwarfs, 3,500 kills. That's what we like to see. 160 enemies caught prisoner. You know, dwarfs are just so goddamn good on this game. They really are. They can hold the line. You really just have to shoot them to pieces. That's the only real advantage you have against them, is just shooting them with crossbows and catapults as best you can. But even then, the dwarfs have good crossbows, so it's really hard to match them. 3,600 kills. We have Arad getting 2,800 kills, which is the second most. Gundabad getting 2,700 kills, which is something I also love about this mod, is that the evil factions are actually pretty good instead of the old Third Age, where the evil factions were utter trash. It's good to see that, and everyone else getting, you know, somewhat in between. So my Ironfoot halberdiers, these guys are the ones on the bridge, getting 600 kills. Shout out to them. The rest of my Ironfoot warriors getting over a couple hundred. These guys with crossbows doing very nice. And that's pretty much it for my forces. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, please make sure to drop a like and a comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.